Okay, and all righty. Hello, how are we doing, Belinda?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. How's the weather like in Australia?
It's cool this morning for us, yeah, for summer. It's really so unpredictable.
Oh,
1 minute it's hot and then next minute it's cold.
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, it's somewhat like that here in California, although it's been on the colder side the last several days. I'm like, brr. For me, it's freezing when it gets down into, the 40s and the 50s, as opposed to 75, 85 degrees warm Fahrenheit. So
Yes, well, we do Celsius, but yeah, when it gets down to about 13, 14, I'm freezing.
yeah, me too. Okay, well, let's get started because I know you have your little bambinos, your grandbabies that you're going to be taking care of shortly here, and I want to get as much little bit of the information, and then we'll send you the replay afterwards. So let me go ahead and share screen here. So I'm going to talk a little bit here about the stem cell activation patches, what they do, how they work, and so forth. And before we get started, we have to read this disclaimer that says the patches are not intended to treat, prevent, or cure any disease. We do not cure, heal, treat, or diagnose. The suggestions do not replace the diagnosis and treatment by a qualified licensed healthcare professional. We strongly recommend you consult with your doctor concerning your specific health challenge and treatment needed. No medical claims are being made with these suggestions here. Okay. So we're going to start with this. This is an actual picture of stem cells taken through an electron microscope that I took from a research study. And so one of the things to be aware of stem cells is that stem cells are actually pluripotent, which means that they are able to morph and change into whatever type of, they can create a cell that can change into whatever kind of cell the body needs. So your stem cells, as your heart needs a cell, and let's say your eye needs a cell, they can create a cell for the eye, or a cell for your heart, or a cell for your bones, blood platelets. It can create whatever type of cell your body needs in that very second.
Yep.
And so in this particular image here, we basically are just showing you how you have a cardiac cell, your interoceptive cell, which has to do with your gut, fat cells, blood cells, etc., nerve cells in your brain, your autonomic nervous system. So your stem cells are pluripotent, and they have that ability to create those building blocks of life that are found in your body. So the next thing to be aware of is that your body is your temporary housing unit. It's basically your temporary house to house your soul, the energy, the personality that is you. And so if you look at your stem cells, it's kind of like building a house. So when we look at your stem cells, when you're 30 years old, 50% of your stem cells turn off by the age of 30, and almost 100% of them turn off by the age of 60. So if you look at your mother stem cell activation patch, I like to equate it to like building a house. If you look at a house, before you put walls, before you put a roof, you have to put a foundation, right?
Yes.
So the mother stem cell activation patch is this X39. And this is what stem cell activation patches actually look like. You'll see that it's the size of a quarter, an American quarter, and it has a little crystal lattice in the middle. And that crystal lattice is made of organic nanotechnology in the form of organic sugar, salts, and amino acids. It has something called polyisomers, polykaryoisomers. And part of what this crystal lattice is doing is it's arranged in a crystal lattice to mimic a diamond crystal. If we were to take a light and shine it on a diamond crystal, you would see every time you look at a diamond, you notice that it has all the colors of the rainbow that reflect because of the light. Yep. Well, this is mimicking a diamond crystal. And what happens is the moment you put this patch, like you see the one that I have on here on my chest, that's a glutathione patch. The moment you put that on, it automatically turns on 33% of your stem cells that you were conceived with. And so now you have all these stem cells that are turned on. Those lights are literally turned on because what happens is my 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit body temperature reflects off of this stem cell activation patch. It reflects back into my bloodstream to turn on GHKCU copper peptide, which is going to go directly to turn on that in my blood. So it's signaling, that copper peptide signals my stem cells. It's like a light switch. Boom, they're turned on. Now your stem cells are going to go and it's going to reset a third of your genes to a younger, healthier state. Before we move on to that, I want to talk about the infrared light because I don't want to gloss over that. 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. If I touch any human being, you feel that they're warm. And so that warmth is evidence of light that's generating heat, just like a light bulb, just like the sun. You know, we see that it provides light, but it's also emitting heat. If I were to put infrared night vision goggles and I were to look at you wearing those night vision goggles, I would see that you're glowing in the dark infrared light. Okay. So that light is bouncing off of the stem cell activation patch and it immediately goes to turn on the stem cells. Stem cells are designed to automatically repair whatever cell damage you have anywhere in the body. So whatever the worst damage you have in the body, that's where the stem cells, because there's inflammation. So stem cells are attracted to inflammation. When they see that there's inflammation, that's evidence of damage. There's something that needs to be repaired. So your stem cells will send out cells to that part of the body that needs that repair. So it's going to repair the cellular damage that you have, restore your collagen, rebuild scar tissue. Any scar tissue is going to be replaced with the original tissue that you were conceived with based on that blueprint that you were conceived with. It's going to, the stem cells don't go, oh, there's a line, there's a wrinkle, we got to fix that. No, lines and wrinkles are evidence of oxidative stress. It's evidence of damage in the body. So the stem cells just see it as damaged cells. We're like, we got to fix this. We need to put it back to the younger, healthier state. So it's going to reduce fine lines and wrinkles, increase your energy, increase sexual libido, antioxidants, anti-aging, anti-inflammation. And if you have pain, it will reduce your pain in 3 to 4 minutes, anywhere from 50 to 100%, increase and improve your sleep. And many people report hair growth like myself. I had a bald spot in the back of my head for almost 6 years as a result of my getting hit by a bus while just 3 blocks shy of finishing a 60-mile bike ride. And now I have about 4 inches of hair that I just noticed in October. As I was trying to, as you can see, I curled my hair. And so as I was like trying to reach over and curl my hair, there was hair that was only about this long. And I'm like, what the heck? Why would I have hair that, oh my gosh. Then I touched back there. I'm like, oh, it's not shiny and bald anymore. It's not, I'm like, I actually have hair growing from there. So very exciting, as you can imagine.
As long as it comes back on my face and I grow a beard, that's what.
So it won't, it's going to put your body into balance. So like when you were 10, 15, 20 years old, you didn't have hair on your face. You didn't have, sometimes when women have facial hair or things like that, that is something that's a little bit off in your chemistry. So,
yeah, I'm on a hormone blocking tablet for the cancer. That's all. That's what the problem is, I think.
So, yeah. So, and that's going to block probably a few other things other than the cancer. But this is your own stem cells. So there's nothing like the stem cell activation patches don't interfere with in fact, we have a lot of people. I have one gentleman I can send you a video on. He was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma cancer Friday, August 26th. And he was urinating and defecating blood, was in terrible pain, ran to the ER room. And his daughter had just ordered the stem cell activation patches, the Fantastic 5, this is the first of the Fantastic 5. And she had just gotten them for herself because she had black mold in her home, and her suffering were suffering from the effects of black mold and all sorts of symptoms. And she happened to get them the day before and hadn't applied them yet. And so when her father was in the ER, she called me in a panic and she told me what was going on. And I told her, Sunday, we got to get those patches on your dad ASAP. So she met him at the hospital. She applied the patches. And within an hour's time, he no longer had any pain. 2 days later, because he ended up being admitted into the hospital and they diagnosed him with a cancerous tumor in his stomach, stage 4 lymphoma, cancer in his stomach, and also in his bones. However, he hasn't had pain since that first day. And he's been wearing the patches every day since. And then I think in the second week that he was in the hospital, he ended up doing a round of chemotherapy for 5 days. And even though he did the chemotherapy, it was chemotherapy and radiation, I believe. Even though he did both of those, he didn't have low energy. He didn't have any nausea, didn't have any headaches. He felt fine. The next patch that I'm going to share with you in just a moment, one of the patches creates a Faraday cage, which is an electromagnetic field that protects you against radiation poisoning.
Yep.
So in his case, fast forward 5 weeks later, we had a PET scan done on him, and it showed that the tumor in his stomach disappeared. In fact, the cancer, his head, his torso, his throat, the whole top part of his body, he has no cancer left in there. Now, the only thing, he's still on the stem cell activation patches because he's going to have to be on that until, for at least for the next 12 months. And he started in August. We still have to take care of the cancer that's still remaining in his bones, which is getting progressively better because his numbers are actually getting better as they test his blood. He's being very closely monitored, and his doctors are aware that he's wearing the stem cell activation patches, and it's all good. So your stem cells are kind of like the printer cartridges in your printer copier at home. So we have, a tricolor printer cartridge, and we have black. When you make a copy of a colored copy, and it's a brand new cartridge, then you can't tell the difference between the original and the copy, right? Yeah. And black and white copy, the same thing. But when you've used up 80 to 90% of the ink, now the color copy is a faded copy. The black and white copy is a gray and white copy. So the same thing is true with your stem cells. When you've used up 70, 80, 90, 100% of your stem cells, now what little stem cells are left are making very faded copies. So if you look at the blueprints, there's missing parts to the DNA. The telomere length is shortened, parts of it are missing. Some of the myelin sheath is missing. And that's why you have a very faded, not so good copy. And some of those copies even, give you a damaged cell copy instead of an accurate, crisp one like you did when your cartridges were 100% full. So this is turning on 33%, which is 1/3 of your original blueprint stem cells turned back on. So I say that this is basically this is your foundation. The next stem cell is your bearing wall, and that's X49. And this stem cell activation patch protects you from radiation poisoning. It increases your lean muscle mass, increases bone density, muscle mass, and strength, increases energy, focus, and cardiovascular function, protects you from 5G, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. So computers, cell phones, TSA scanners at the airport, inside of a plane, because there's a lot of people don't realize when you're in a plane, all the inside of a plane, it's highly exposed to radiation because we're so close to the sun, which is why a lot of pilots and airline attendants have fertility problems, because they're in an environment where they're being radiated full time, as part of their job. So this protects you against that. This stem cell activation patch also reduces belly fat, because what this stem cell activation patch does, if you have belly fat, it will use that as immediate energy that it can use to repair and restore your body and other places. So it will take that as immediate energy and reduce your belly fat. If you have osteoporosis, it'll help with osteoporosis. So this patch, the mother stem cell with the daughter stem cell activation patch, this is part of a great foundation to, like your friend Lois, who's going blind. This is going to help reset and restore her in a magnificent way. The next patch, we talk about the Fantastic Five. So that's 2 of 5. So we have glutathione. And glutathione is a master antioxidant. It's a detoxifier, immune booster, and an antiviral. So glutathione is found in every organ of the body. The
I'm
brain.
very aware. Tyrone. I've
Yeah,
been taking ages.
go ahead.
I stopped taking that age a while ago, but I was on it for quite a while. So yeah.
And so glutathione, a lot of people will take glutathione supplements. The only one problem with supplements is that you only get small little amounts of the total that you're taking in, because it's dependent on the efficiency of your stomach. Because this is going directly into your bloodstream, it is there's no digestive issues. And because you're wearing it with the mother and the daughter stem cell activation patch, it's signaling your brain to create the glutathione in your liver. And then your liver sends it to all the organs in your body. It detoxifies you, and it increases your immune system by increasing the antivirals 300 to 600%. Within 24 hours of you wearing these patches, you'll have a 300% increase in glutathione. So your body starts to reset and restore itself very progressively faster and faster as you continue to wear these. So the number one thing with the patches is you have to drink 50% of your body weight in fluid ounces of water. Okay. The Eon. Eon is a master anti-inflammatory patch. So this is your bearing wall. We're building a house here. So your body has this master anti-inflammatory. Luckily, these are named after the actual antioxidants in the body, so it's easy to remember. This is a master anti-inflammatory. It's an anti-stress. We also call it the happy patch because it raises the tinioplastins, which I'll explain what those are in a minute. DHEA, which many people take DHEA for brain health and so forth. It creates brain balancing of the right and the left hemisphere of the brain, which is greatly needed for many people. It creates a calming effect because as it does the brain balancing, it reduces your cortisol and C-reactive proteins and other conditions. So as you know, when you have a fight or flight response and you have that frustration, that anxiety, that fear, that angst, that not good feeling, it takes away obviously your joy and it takes away that calm effect. And instead you have tension and stress. So a lot of people in the first 30 days, especially in the third week, I seem to have a lot of people in the third week, wow, I've only been on this for 21 days, or this is just my third week on the patches. And I have not just more energy, but I feel a lot happier. And the only thing I've done different is wear these patches. And so this patch, because it reduces inflammation, and you're aware that when you have cancer, you have high degrees of inflammation of the body. So this is a very, very important patch because it's going to help your overall sense of well-being and really bring things in balance from the brain all the way throughout. Does that make sense?
Yep.
The next patch is the carnosine patch. This carnosine patch, I love this patch because this carnosine patch, I tell people, think about carnosine, sounds like carne asada, like for, Mexican meat tacos. So carne, all things meat, all things muscle, heart, and cardiovascular.
Protein.
So the protein that's necessary for your muscles, but this improves your healthy brain function, improves your memory, your processing time, strength, stamina, and endurance. It also improves, like I said before, your cardiovascular system, all things heart and muscle. This one detoxes your brain from aluminum and aids wound healing. So think about how many cans of juice, of beer, how many canned foods you've had in aluminum, how many times you've been to an event where you catered food at your house or went to an event where the caterer had it in aluminum trays. You're getting trace amounts of aluminum through the food, and that causes, we know for the last 25 years that aluminum is a known neurotoxin and it creates cognitive decline. It causes memory loss. It causes brain fog. Some research shows that it causes dementia and Alzheimer's. So this is a very powerful stem cell activation patch. Most of the patches are to be worn during the day. I like to wear this one at night, right on my right temple, which is almost touching your brain in that very delicate part, because in addition to increasing your brain function, it gives you very vivid dreams. And I'm able to remember the dreams because it increases memory. I wake up in the morning, and if I've had 1 or 2 dreams, I actually remember them now in the morning, which is very helpful because sometimes it's giving me clues about certain people. Other times it's my subconscious trying to tell me something about myself that I need to address that otherwise might go unnoticed. Very, very powerful. So this makes up the Fantastic Five. These are the foundational patches. From there on, for example, someone who has either an eye condition or someone who has cancer, someone who has MS, then we would, after the Zoom call, we would do a one-on-one Zoom with you where we would go over whatever, find out what your diagnoses are. We'd find out whatever pain points you have, whatever your complaints or your symptoms are. And we have 12 patches. So it would be a matter of matching the patches based on what it is that we need to fix in your body or we need to have restored. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So do you have pain, Belinda?
Not a lot. I manage my pain quite well. Look, I've got a sauna. I do magnesium bars. I do MSM roll-ons. I've got, and I do castor oil packs.
Do you wear it overnight?
Like I've been doing a lot of this for a long time because I've had cancer since 2005 off and on. So, so I've been doing a lot of things, and I don't tend to. It's rare for me to take any painkillers.
Okay, so you're like me. I don't even trust Tylenol.
Yeah, I just know it kills all the microbiome in your gut. Yeah. That's counterproductive to my healing process, so I just avoid it. So
yeah, very wise.
So in terms of what this would cost me.
Okay. So that Fantastic Five, let me share with you. I'll share another screen with you. So typically, and if you go to the website, you'll see, and I can share my website.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share the website so that you can look it over. And the number one thing is to get all your questions answered and for you to start to understand and realize, you're now aware of the benefits that these have for you. If pain is an issue, we have a stem cell activation patch that will turn off the pain receptors in the body. This does not repair anything. I always like to make that distinction with people. Yeah. So some people, pain is a real challenge for them. And so this is 70% more powerful than hospital grade morphine, but it doesn't repair anything in the body. It works with these patches that I just shared with you, but it just turns the pain receptors off. And so for some people, they really need this because they need the relief so that they can get into a better feeling place so that they progress in the process of restoring their body, right? Yeah. So these 2 patches each are $149.
Right. So
they're $149
for me. Yep.
Yeah. So $149 a piece. And so that's like $300 just these 2. And some people just start off with these 2. However, I can provide you a Dr. Wholesale pack, which if you go on my website, you'll see that a silver Dr. Wholesale pack that runs you $450 for 3 of them. Yeah. However, I would give it to you. I would get you started, Belinda, on the Dr. Wholesale price. And instead of 3, because of our practice, we have 710 doctors and holistic care practitioners. You would actually get 4 sleeves for the same $299. So you would be able to go ahead.
How long would that last?
This is for 1 month. So this would be per month. So the first month to do the Fantastic Five, it would be the $299 to add the 5th patch. It would be $369. So it would be $369 plus your tax and handling. And we have a distribution center in Australia. So within this time, you would receive it there. After the first month, then it would drop down to about $330 plus tax and handling, because once you get started, then you're going to get bundle pricing because these 2 come in a bundle. and we discount the price on them. And then these three, the Fantastic Five, these also get bundled together.
Yeah.
And so then instead of these being $69 a piece, you can get all three of them for $149, which is basically $50 each, which is much less. So
in terms of getting something for cancer, for my cancer, I mean, I've got fairly significant Hashimoto's. My thyroid is, quite large at the moment in particular.
Okay.
Somebody gave me some gluten, unfortunately, a while ago. And so there's that, and obviously the cancer in my body that I'd love to get rid of. What would I need to be looking at? Because, I mean, at the moment, I have officially no income from, within a couple of days. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyway, I'm manifesting, hopefully, so we'll see where I go.
Yeah. So I don't know if you might have maybe a family member or someone who might be able to get you started until you put this behind you over the next several months. So that's something that we'll put that in the quantum realm. Yeah. But this gives you over the next few days and weeks, you can start to at least get more information. And I can send you testimonials of people who have had not just cancer, but people with Hashimoto's, people with other type of related conditions. And you can start to get more familiarized with not just the patches, but how they work and the results that other people like you who are suffering from cancer and Hashimoto's or cancer or Hashimoto's,
most people have cancer, have some sort of autoimmune precursor.
A lot of people that in my practice have multiple things going on. They'll have Hashimoto's, they'll have cancer, they'll have Lyme's disease, and they'll have lupus and diabetes all in one person. That's a lot of inflammation in the body. There's a lot of dysregulation. So luckily the patches work systemically. So because they function addressing and improving the entire cardiovascular system, the entire digestive system, the autonomic nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, the central nervous system, and so on and so forth, it clears everything up as it's going at the same time. So that's why you see these incredible results with people. It's to me every day, it's like nothing short of, I still find it very miraculous.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for, I need miracles. Thank you. We'll see how I go. Maybe I just need to bite the bullet and go back to work. I just know that I've gotten sick every time I've gone back to work.
So what is it that you do? Do you mind my asking what it is that you do?
I work in mental health emergency. So I'm on a call center. So I sit for 12 hours with my cortisol levels up around my neck, around my ears, and I take suicide calls and deal with florid psychotic people with schizophrenia or people on methamphetamines that are.
So it's a very high stress job, a lot of tension.
I've done it for 17 years.
So would it be possible, Melinda, that perhaps maybe all you need is a break for maybe 4 weeks?
Haven't worked since May. So I've been on leave. I've taken all my leave. So
perhaps taking, and perhaps one of two things might be possible. It's possible that you need a leave and maybe not returning to the same job, maybe going to another job where you're still helping people, but perhaps not so high stress. Because once you get started on the stem cell activation patches, you will have an increase in energy. You're going to sleep. You're going to have all this reparation that's going on in your body. So you're going to have the brain balancing, your cortisol levels, your C-reactive proteins are going to start to get in check. You're going to feel more calm and you're going to be more energized. You're actually healthier day by day as you wear the patches for 12 hours on and then drinking the 50% of your body weight in water and then 12 hours off, allowing the cycle of repair and restore, right? But maybe it's a matter of finding a right size position that is not so stressful, that you still are able to enjoy helping people, but maybe not so intense. Maybe that was okay in the past, but maybe now you're at a stage in your life that you could transition over the next several months. And I got to tell you, I have a gal who, she started the patches in August, and she had the spine of a 90-plus-year-old woman. She's in her late 40s, and she could barely move. And she was scheduled for spine surgery because she has spondylitis, and she had several of her discs that had disintegrated, which is why she could barely move. So August, the middle of August, she started. So to September to October, just 2 months later, I kid you not, she's telling me, Lillian, this weekend I played pickleball, I did yoga, and I went hiking. I go, all three? So I looked at my phone, I'm like, are you kidding me? She's like, no. And I felt great. I'm like, how is that possible? You know, she could barely walk and is going to have back surgery. And now she's doing yoga, hiking, and I go, pickleball, that's like racquetball. That's like high intensity running around, like sweating your bones off. And she's like, she goes, I know. And I felt great. And I'm like, holy smokes, just 2 months on the patches. So, and I can tell you so many other stories of people like that had in
testimonials. That would be good around the Hashimoto's and the cancer and stuff.
I will send you. I will send you some.
I can't feel my feet, and I haven't for some time now. So I don't know if that's curable. I'm presuming if you can fix one thing, you can fix anything. I've always believed that.
Absolutely, because you were not born with numb feet. You weren't born with that pain. You weren't born with those conditions. So there's one, I always make the distinction that it's the stem cells that you were conceived with, not that you were born with. Because I have a gal who about 18 or 19 months ago, she started on the stem cell activation patches for herself because she had rheumatoid arthritis, which, as you know, is an autoimmune disorder. And she also had like lupus, Lyme, some other things. Her kids were both of them, Jake and Grace, both were born with a very rare blood disorder. And she lives in North Carolina. And so when she started this in 2021, she put both of her kids on the stem cell activation patches. They're 21. Well, they were 20 and 24 at the time. Fast forward to 2 or 3 months later, her son and her daughter, their entire lives since birth, every week they were in the hospital. They were always in and out of the hospital, they had their gallbladders removed on all these different meds. And they also had to have a very strict gluten-free, wheat-free, dairy-free, peanut-free, sugar-free diet.
Yep.
Fast forward to last August, because actually it was not last August, it was a year ago, December. So a year ago this month, Jake comes back from college because he's going to college and he's on the golf team. And April tells, and I have a video where she tells her whole story, because when she told me about it, I'm like, you got to come on and I need to have that video testimonial, and you tell your whole story and how. I go, this is radical, because they were both born with rare blood disorders and they're fine now. So when Jake came home, she said, Jake, are you still eating your clean diet? And he kind of sheepishly looked at her and said, to tell you the truth, Mom, I've been drinking beer. I love filet, and I've been eating pizza, and no, I haven't been eating clean, but my body is not having any kind of a reaction. My body's totally fine. I'm like, I feel good. I have had no symptoms of any kind.
Yeah.
It's after the first couple months, once my body got reset where everything was, he goes, I've been fine the whole time.
Right. Yeah.
Fast
I'm
forward.
going to have to go, Lillian, but I'm just going to, if I can get that information, and I'll be really curious as the mechanism as to how it works as well. I'm just somebody that's always done my research, and
Sure.
It informs me, helps me to know what I'm doing. Like if I take a supplement, I want to know why I'm taking that supplement and how it works. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, I will send you.
Get back to you if I've got any questions. That would be lovely.
Okay, sounds great, Belinda. All right, take care.
And can you tell me about the tax and everything? Because we're used to just paying a price. Like we don't usually add the tax after, like put a price and then add the tax and then add the this, that, and the other. So it's confusing for me.
Okay.
So
I can look it up because I have somebody in Melbourne, I think. It was either Melbourne or Brisbane. In Brisbane, and I can find out what she paid for the shipping and handling and tax, because I would imagine it's similar throughout Australia. I'll let you know what her pricing was, and that way you'll know.
Fabulous. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care, Belinda.
It's
Ciao for now. Bye.
They're lovely. Thank you for that.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.